we're still in it. And Babybay, he will be back. And this is just a warm up game for him. Warm up game for all of us. We started slow. Doesn't matter.
Hey guys, this is Pedro back with another interview. This time covering VCT Americas Stage 2 2025 for Week 1. My guest at this time is JonahP of G2, coming off of their match against Sentinels at the start of their regular season in said competition, this time losing 2-1, but thus, having more opportunities to compete in this stage. And so, JonahP, thank you so much for the opportunity. Also, like I said, commiserations on the series results. Tough way to go down against Sentinels, given the state of the team and slotting in Babybay, but still, you guys made it. You made it very close. And so, to
Yeah.
start off, how are you feeling? What's going through your mind, and etc.
Feeling. I mean, we're all feeling, really good actually. I think, under our circumstances, like after losing map one pretty convincingly, we were kind of just like, let's just do our best and whatever happens happens. We lose 0-2, it's whatever. But since we brought it back with map 1 and then we're up pretty heavy in map 3 and we ended up losing in overtime. It stings a little bit, but I mean all of our spirits are like, everything's held high for us. You know, uh what Babybay is bringing to the team is honestly something we've been lacking for many years as the core of this team, with the just confidence and energy and um, just basically like no matter what, always believing, which we had, but um, I wouldn't say we never had this type of energy before. So I mean, I know it might look bad to some people, but it's gonna benefit us with time. We just need time.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, Baby Bay always had this kind of characteristic as, the vibes guy, and someone that can kind of like make it easy for, teammates or anybody else, doing a segment to just feel good and just have to show more of themselves in a much more organic way. Obviously, like I remember, I believe he did a segment for with yourself and Mitch back like in before Masters
Yeah.
Toronto. So obviously there's that the synergy and that experience there. And so like that said, is there any difference between the Baby Bay as a broadcast song to the Baby Bay as a teammate from your point of view?
If there's much of a difference, you said.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Josh like tweeted publicly saying, the main reason why we wanted him was because of his broadcast and casting all these games. Like he's very smart, and one thing that we got to get better at, just um, us as teammates and players, is just trying to get smarter at the game. And when we were trialing him, you know he surprised us all, and so I don't think there's much of a difference, to be honest, because even before I did the hockey content or before he was my teammate, I've always said, Doug and Baby were one of my favorite casting duos because every time I'd watch a VOD, Baby or Doug, but mainly Baby would point out, the micro details of certain things that not many people notice. And so I was kind of looking for that in his trials and in the matches, and it's there. He has the experience. Hasn't had the experience in a while, but that doesn't really matter. He's a smart person, and on top of that, he lifts up everybody on the team with their energy and just like the hype.
I think one person that comes to mind when it comes to being the vibes guy is Zelsis. Is he kind of like that?
I would say he's a better Zelsis in my opinion. But yeah, like you can compare them with like how they showboat, like stand up and yell. Um, but yeah, Zelsis definitely deserves his praise because I would say he was probably the first player to start doing that, and then every team's like, all right, we need a vibes guy, we need a vibes merchant. So he definitely paved the way, but seeing what Andre has brought in practice and in the match today, like I personally haven't felt this fired up to play in a while.
No, for sure. I mean, I mean, sure, you guys lost, but in a sense, you guys were able to learn, how this team is going to move forward. Facing off against the likes of Sentinels, and so going back a little bit real quick into the series, we saw the Crowd finally being played for you guys. Seeing the double controller kind of thing, and then
Yeah.
moving forward into Ascent and then Lotus, kind of cutting it very close on to Lotus, and then seeing the Sentinels. I believe Sentinels come back on Lotus. I mean, a lot
Yeah.
to pack, but what do you feel was the biggest takeaway for yourself from the series as a whole?
From the series as a whole, I would say just I kind of brought this up in after the match. Like in a positive way, like Andre or Babybay. He's bringing the energy, and we're all fired up. We're all talking. We're all getting hype. But it kind of affected our pre-barrier like calls and setups, or even our post plans when we take sites. We're all very like, all right, let's do this. All right, we're gonna do this. Everyone's like super into it, which is good. But it kind of like when it got too hectic and there's too many voices talking, then people start being too individual or not really understanding the full like picture of what's going on. And that was talked about, and it's a trade-off because previously with Leaf, when we had him, we were very smart, very drilled, but we didn't have that like constant energy, which is on me, and it's not because of Leaf. I'm like quote unquote the vibes guy. Like I'm good at making people laugh, keeping us in it, but I'm not good at standing up or being like a showing off and stuff, getting my guys into it. So I'm learning a lot with Babybay, and so we just have to find that balance that we had with Leaf in our post plans or our mid rounds, and yeah, just find that balance pretty much.
We saw Baby Bay going back onto him play the Vice, the Chamber, and then the Viper. Basically, the same kind of agents that Leaf has been playing. So it's basically like him getting into Leaf's role as a Sentinel.
Yeah.
hmm And obviously, Baby Bay is
Can you,
not Lee. Huh? Come again?
you repeat that? Sorry, I thought that was like a question.
Yeah, I was just asking, like, basically if Baby Bay is, basically the Sentinel for this team,
Oh,
since Leaf is slipping away.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and obviously, like, Baby Bay is not Leaf, and so Leaf is not Baby Bay, so you kind of have to like work around that. And given what you said about like your observation of Baby Bay and how he's contributing to the team and all of that stuff, when people look at how this G2 version is going to fare for the stage two, a good number of them are going to call it like a downgrade. How do you kind of look at that aspect for the team? Obviously, it's not Leaf, but still, like,
Yeah.
what do you think about that?
I mean, we're very used to it. We're very used to people reacting poorly to us. We're kind of like I get somehow we're the villain of of North America, so people just automatically don't like us, or what how we play. If we're winning, people don't like us. If we lose, people don't like us. But um, it doesn't really affect us. We don't really care what people say, like downgrade, upgrade. Andre or Baby Bay, like he's very mature and experienced. That doesn't bother him. He doesn't care. Um, Nobody will say it to his face, obviously. So, but yeah, I think, and he understands too, and that's another big thing. Like he understands like this potentially, there we don't know the full situation yet, or I mean, we're not publicly ready to say what's going on, but he knows that this isn't like a permanent spot on the roster, and him knowing that and still giving everything he has is just like a blessing for us. We have a lot to appreciate from him, and I'm telling you, like we're learning so much from him. Even if he hasn't played in so long, it didn't really matter. So
That's why I said, like, there's a lot more of there's a sense of like a win in the sense that like you guys are learning and you guys are like understanding how it is to work with Baby Bay, and obviously so it can only go forward from here, can only go higher from here for this team. And so one more question real quick, looking into the rest of the group for your squad. Obviously, on paper the toughest challenge is out of the way with Sentinels. Next up is 2G, then EG, and then Furia, and then Cloud9, regular season Cloud9. What are your thoughts on just the road ahead?
Road ahead. Every match is going to be difficult. 2G is looking a lot better. I would say they they had their series against EG in the bag, but then EG they stepped up. They had a lot of individual plays and just like overall started playing better as a team. So to me, like just watching that, and they have spikes in now. Um, they're not a free win. Nobody's a free win. Even if we had Leaf, I would be saying the same thing. Um, but yeah, I think our results today, um, kind of proved to us, and I'm sure it proved to some people out there that just because we don't have a Leaf, we're still in it. And Babybay, he will be back, and it's just a warm up game for him, warm up game for all of us. We started slow, doesn't matter. But yeah, we're just gonna take every series as like a next step for us at just building up what we want to build basically and focus on for eventually champs. We're in a great spot, but being in the spot doesn't mean that we're gonna take it easy. We're gonna come out and press people.
Step one is done, and now all that's left to do is move on to step two. And, obviously that's what you guys are going to do from here on out, and so on and so forth. And so, JonahP, thank you so much for the opportunity, for the interview, for the insight, and for all the good answers. And of course, best of luck goes to the rest of the team, but most importantly, for yourself. So thank you very much.
Thank you. It's nice to talk to you.